When 17-year-old Emma boarded that flight to the Philippines, her parents didn't know what to expect. Their daughter, once full of energy and curiosity, had slowly turned cold, distant, and filled with frustration toward everything around her. But what unfolded over those 3 months in Manila would reshape their entire family. This is the story of how one unexpected trip brought a lost teenager back to life. The Anderson family lived in Copenhagen, Denmark. Sarah and Michael had always provided Emma with the best they could. Private tutoring, music lessons, the newest gadgets every year. But somewhere around age 15, things started crumbling. Emma dyed her hair jet black, started wearing heavy, dark makeup, and built walls around herself that no one could break through. Her teachers raised concerns. She barely left her bedroom for hours. Sarah and Michael exhausted every option. Family therapy, counseling sessions, heart-to-heart conversations, tough love. None of it made a difference. We watched her disappear right in front of us, Sarah would later explain. It felt like our own daughter had become someone we couldn't reach, no matter how hard we tried. Then fate stepped in. Sarah's company assigned her to a 3-month project in Manila. After weeks of debate and resistance, they decided Emma was coming too. The teenager was livid. The journey to Manila was painfully silent. Emma buried herself behind her headphones the whole way, shutting out every attempt at conversation. When they arrived, the dense tropical humidity and the chaos of the city overwhelmed them instantly. Motorcycles weaving through traffic, street vendors calling out, the vibrant contrast of towering skyscrapers next to centuries-old Spanish colonial buildings. The opening 2 weeks were miserable. Emma despised everything. The sweltering heat, the unfamiliar food, the feeling of being completely uprooted. She barely moved from their air-conditioned condo, glued to her phone, watching friends back home carry on as if she never existed. But then something shifted. The family had brought in a local helper named Aunt Rosa, a warm Filipino woman in her 50s. Unlike Emma's parents, Rosa never pushed or tried to fix her. She simply showed up and talked. "You don't seem happy here, no?" Rosa said one lazy afternoon. "What's there to be happy about?" Emma snapped. Rosa grinned softly. "Come with me tomorrow. Let me show you the real Manila." That Saturday, Rosa brought Emma to her neighborhood in Quezon City. Rosa's extended family was throwing a birthday celebration. At least 50 people packed into a modest house, music blasting, food covering every surface, children chasing each other through the rooms. Emma braced herself to feel awkward and invisible. Instead, she was embraced immediately. Rosa's nieces, Maya and Chris, pulled her right into their circle without hesitation. Nobody commented on her makeup or her attitude. They simply made room for her. "Try this," they kept saying, passing her lumpia, adobo, pancit. They laughed together when she struggled with sticky rice. But it was warm laughter, the kind that invites you in rather than pushing you away. It was joyful and inclusive. For the first time in what felt like months, Emma caught herself genuinely smiling. These people had met her an hour ago, yet they made her feel like she mattered. From that day forward, something inside Emma began to unlock. Maya and Chris started messaging her constantly, inviting her to hang out. They showed her the real Manila, local markets, carinderias, riding jeepneys through busy streets. They taught her Tagalog phrases and cheered wildly every time she got one right. But the real shift happening inside, Emma went beyond language and food. She started noticing things. The way younger people spoke to their elders with genuine respect. The way entire families truly enjoyed spending time together not because they had to, but because they wanted to. The way neighbors looked out for each other without a second thought. Back in Denmark, Emma had felt isolated even in her own home. Everyone seemed consumed by their own schedules, their own stress, focused on individual achievement. Here, community seemed to matter more than anything else. One afternoon, Maya invited Emma to volunteer at a local community center tutoring underprivileged kids. Emma almost backed out. She had never done anything like this before. But when she sat down next to those children, helping them with their lessons, watching their faces light up when they finally understood something cracked open inside her that had been sealed shut for years. A sense of purpose, of connection, of mattering not for what she had, but for what she could give. There was one girl, Leah, about 10 years old. Emma worked with her twice a week. One afternoon after their session, Leah hugged Emma tight and said, "Thank you, Aunt Emma. You're so kind." Emma felt tears flooding her eyes. She couldn't remember the last time anyone had called her kind. The transformation didn't happen in secret. Sarah and Michael watched their daughter slowly coming back to life. Emma started joining them for meals without being asked. She would tell them stories about her day, about something funny Maya said, or a new dish she tried. She even smiled at their jokes. One weekend, they traveled to Tagaytay to see Taal volcano. Standing at the overlook with the stunning lake spread out before them, Emma turned to her parents and said quietly, "I'm sorry I've been such a nightmare." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. Michael wrapped his arms around Emma. "We just want you to be happy, sweetheart." "I think I'm starting to figure out what that actually means," Emma replied. That evening over dinner, Emma opened up for the first time about what had been going on inside her. She described feeling lost back home, feeling like nothing she did carried any real weight, like she was just going through the motions of a life someone else had planned for her. "Here, it's so different," she explained. "People don't just ask how you are as a greeting. They genuinely want to know. Family isn't just an obligation you fit between appointments. It's the center of everything." 3 months vanished in what felt like days. When the time came to fly back to Denmark, Emma, who had arrived angry and resistant, was now standing in the airport crying. She held Aunt Rosa for a long time. "You changed my life, Aunt Rosa." Rosa cupped her face and smiled through tears. "I didn't change anything, Anak. I just reminded you of the beautiful person you already were inside." Maya and Chris came to see her off. They exchanged bracelets, made promises to video chat every single week. The goodbyes were tearful, but overflowing with love. When Emma walked through arrivals in Copenhagen, her grandparents almost didn't recognize her. She had toned down the heavy dark makeup, wore a small flower in her hair. But the biggest change wasn't her appearance. It was her energy. She was radiant, present, alive again. Going back to school felt strange. Her old friends picked up on the difference right away. Emma didn't try to convince anyone or preach about her experience. She just lived differently. She started a tutoring program at school, inspired by her work in Manila. She reached out to international students who seemed lonely. She called her parents just to talk, something that would have been unthinkable before. Every single week, she video called her Filipino friends. She practiced Tagalog, cooked Filipino dishes using Rosa's recipes, and covered her room with photos from Manila. That was 2 years ago. Today, Emma is 19 and studying international relations with a focus on Southeast Asian studies. She knows exactly where that passion was born. "We got our daughter back," Sarah says now. "But it's more than that. We got someone deeper, someone who understands that connection and kindness matter more than anything else." Emma visits the Philippines every summer now. She stays with Rosa's family, volunteers at the community center, and nurtures the friendships that changed her life. So what really happened in the Philippines? It wasn't one dramatic turning point. It was something quieter and far more powerful. She was truly seen. In Denmark, Emma felt like a problem that needed solving. In the Philippines, people looked at her and simply saw a whole person worthy of love and inclusion. No fixing required. Filipino culture carries a beautiful concept called kapwa, a shared inner self, the recognition that we are all fundamentally connected to one another. It explains why strangers become family so quickly. It explains why community isn't just important, it's everything. Emma's story is a reminder that sometimes we don't need to change who we are. We just need environments where we can be ourselves without judgment, where we're valued for our humanity rather than our achievements or appearance. Today, Emma describes herself as Danish by birth, Filipino by heart. Rosa told her something she carries with her every single day. The Philippines didn't change you, anak. It just gave you permission to be the beautiful person you always were. Sometimes the deepest transformations don't come from trying harder to become someone new. They come when we finally find ourselves among people who help us remember who we truly are. If this story moved you, drop a comment below and share a moment that shifted your entire perspective. Hit that like button if you believe genuine connection can change lives, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss stories like this one. Salamat. Thank you for watching.